Good morning to Miss Fazeha and my beloved friends. I am Prasna Kumaran. Today I would like to present about the introduction of respiratory system. The respiratory system responsible for breathing. It brings oxygen into the body and remove carbon dioxide and a waste gas. Major organs include the nose, trachea, and lungs. This system allows gas exchange, supports cellular respiration, and helps maintain the body's balance and energy levels. It's essential for survival and overall health. Here, a short explanation for each point that I use in presentation slide. The first point is allows the loss of carbon dioxide and the intake oxygen. This describes gas exchange, a vital process for breathing and cellular function. The second one, cellular respiration, the process in which living things create energy depends on oxygen. Oxygen is essential for cells to convert nutrients into usable energy. The next is the first chemical waste that requires to be produced is carbon dioxide. During energy production, cells release carbon dioxide as a waste product. The fourth one, important in maintaining general health and a state of balance. Proper oxygen and carbon dioxide levels help keep the body system stable and healthy. The last point is important biological process that allow gas exchange. This refers to respiration where oxygen is absorbed and carbon dioxide is released. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tanusha. Let's take a look at the anatomy of respiratory system. It is divided into two sections, which is upper and lower respiratory tract. First is upper respiratory tract, which is include nasal cavity, which is filter and warm and humiditize incoming air. And the next is the pharynx, a shared passage for both air and food. And finally, the larynx, commonly known as the voice box, which is the play the key role in the preventing aspiration. The lower respiratory tract consists of the trachea or white pipe, which is lead to the bronchi airway directly air into each lungs. The branch further into smaller airway called bronchillas, and it's finally into the alveoli, and they are tiny sac where gas exchange occurs. The lungs located at the thoracic cavity are the primary respiratory organ. They work in coordination with the diaphragm and intercostal muscle to facilitate breathing. This is the diagram for the reference. Now let's move on to the physiology of respiratory system, which involve four main processes. First is pulmonary ventilation. This is the process of breathing. It is driven by pressure change in the thoracic cavity. During inspiration, the diaphragm contract, increase thoracic volume and decrease pressure, allowing air to enter each lungs. Expiration, on the other hand, is a passive process at rest, occurring at the diaphragm relaxes. Second process is external respiration. This is the gas exchange that occur in alveoli. Oxygen diffuses from the alveoli to the blood, while carbon dioxide diffuses from the blood into the alveoli. This movement is driven by concentration gradients. Third process is transport of gases. Once in the blood, oxygen binds to hemoglobin in red blood cells. Carbon dioxide is carried in three forms, which is as bicarbonate ion bound to hemoglobin or dissolved directly in plasma. Lastly, the internal respiration. There is the exchange of the gas between the blood and body tissue. Oxygen moves from the blood into the tissue and carbon dioxide moves from the tissue back into the blood. Last but not the least, refer to the table on the report. Lungs volume and capacity include tidal volume around 500 milliliter and total lung capacity which is around 6000 milliliter. And that's all from me. Thank you.
Good day everyone, my name is Jashwini. I'm going to explaining on how the blood through vessels and also how the body, heart and lungs work together to keep us alive. This process involves the two key systems, which is the circulatory system and also the respiratory system. Let's begin with the blood flow and the respiratory system. Blood that is low in oxygen called the deoxygenated blood, and first it enters the right atrium of the heart in the body. From there it moves to the right ventricle. It pumps to the lungs through the pulmonary artery. In the lungs, something important happens. Tiny air called the alveoli allows the blood to release the carbon dioxide and the oxygen from the air that we breathe. This is how the gas exchange takes place. Since the blood is rich in oxygen, now it's called as the oxygenated blood. It travels back to the heart, but this time to the left atrium, then down in the left ventricle. The left ventricle is powerful organ because it pumps the oxygenated blood through the whole body through the aorta. This oxygen is then used by our body cells to produce the energy. This entire cycle is essential to keeping our body alive and perfect example on how this respiratory and also the circulatory system is work. Now let's talk about closer look at the heart and its role. The heart is a muscular organ with four chambers, the two atria at the top and two ventricles at the bottom. The right side pumps the deoxygenated blood to the lungs and the left side pumps the oxygenated blood to the rest of our body. Our heart keeps beating thanks to a small area called the sinoatrial node, also how it's known as the heart natural pacemaker. It sends out the electrical signals that cause our heart muscles to contract in a regular rhythm. This is a constant cycle in our body. Blood going to the lungs for oxygen and then to the body to deliver is also called as the pulmonary circulations. This helps us to understand how our blood in our body works and how the lungs and heart chambers are work together. Thank you.
My name is Dakshani Saravanan. Today I am going to present about common respiratory disorder. Firstly is asthma. Asthma is a long-term chronic inflammatory disease of the airways in the lungs. It causes the airways to become swollen and narrow, leading to breathing difficulties, wheezing, coughing and chest tightness. These symptoms are often triggered by allergens, cold air, physical activity or respiratory infection. Secondly is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD. COPD is a progressive and incurable group of lung disease, most commonly chronic bronchitis and emphysema that cause the airflow obstruction and breathing related problem. It usually caused by long-term exposure to irritating gases to particulate matter, most of the cigarette smoker. Thirdly is bronchitis. Bronchitis is the inflammation of the bronchial tubes which carry air to and form the lungs. There are two main types: acute bronchitis, which is usually caused by viral infection and lasts for a short period, and chronic bronchitis is a long-term condition that is a major component of COPD. Bronchitis leads to persistent coughing, wheezing and discomfort in the chest. Fourth one is influenza. Influenza is an acute viral infection that targets the respiratory system, including the nose and lungs. It caused by influenza virus that frequently leading to seasonal outbreaks and epidemics. The flu spread easily from the person to person through droplets in the air or by touching contaminated surfaces. Symptoms include eye fever, muscle aches, cough, and head edges. Lastly is lung cancer. Lung cancer is a type of cancer that begins in the lungs, often in the cells lining the hair passes. It is one of the leading causes of cancer death. The two main types are non-small cell lung cancer and small cell lung cancer. The primary risk factor is smoking, although non-smokers can also develop lung cancer due to genetic factors or environmental exposure. That's all for me. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Devsri Kunalan. Today I'm going to explain about the respiratory system for discussion. Okay, efficient gas exchange is essential for life and the structure of the alveoli. With their large surface area and thin membrane, allows for rapid oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange. However, disease like COPD can damage the ability of alveoli, reducing the lungs' ability to take in oxygen and making breathing difficulty. There are also a close connection between respiratory and cardiovascular system. Heart condition like heart failure can lead fluid build up in the lungs known as pulmonary edema, which further disrupts gas exchange. Fortunately, medical advances such as bronchodilators and oxygen therapy can significantly improve breathing and enhances quality of life. Still, challenges remain, such as antibiotic resistance in infection, pneumonia, which can treatment lacks effective. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Hamsawani Chandran from batch 28A. Today I'm going to talk about the conclusion of respiratory system. The respiratory system is vital for breathing, supplying oxygen to the body, and removing carbon dioxide. It includes key organs like nose, trachea, lungs, bronchi, and diaphragm, all working together to support life. This system also powers cellular respiration, which is essential for energy production. Common respiratory diseases include asthma, COPD, and pneumonia and lung cancer. Maintaining a healthy lifestyle and avoiding air pollution are important steps to protect respiratory health. Avoiding smoking, reducing air pollution exposure, exercising regularly, and getting vaccinated can keep your lungs healthy and prevent respiratory disease. That's all from me. Thank you.